Good evening, YouTube. This is Kaylin String coming at you with my regular Sunday dinner. And as promised last week, I would get into this black line Daff 1,500 plus calorie ration lineup from Chile. These are the ones that, from what I've heard other people say, that these are the ones that would be issued to Chilean first responders, like maybe police, government, federal type law enforcement agents, or paramedics, or some other kind of first responders when they have to go out for some time and not have access to food. They would be issued these. I got this from foreignemery.com. They have both the red line and the black line. This is similar to the Chilean military rations. They're produced by the same company. Daff does the military ones. It says authentic military food producer. These are in English. I use this bowl to prop it up. The thumbnail didn't quite execute, but that's okay. This one is menu 6. Salmon paella. Paella is a Spanish dish that usually involves a few types of seafood. There may be other meats included depending on the regional recipe, but this one is salmon, and it also has shrimp. I have looked at the ingredients. I noticed on this label that looks like a US or Canadian style nutrition label that there are a few errors. 2 different spellings of the word flavor. There is Chris and Pat in the house. Thanks for dropping in. This is the one, when I saw that Foreign Emery had this one, when I went to drop my order, I knew I wanted to get the salmon paella. In Spanish, the double L is pronounced like almost like a Y. So this does not have a tear notch. So I will get the cheaters out. Oops, sorry about that. And I am going to cut it across this way. This is a white plastic. It's not quite as thick as an MCW. Oops, that didn't. There we go. Had a crooked cut there. But it's actually bigger in size than an MCW. Now I'm going to go ahead and start pulling out the goodies. Peanuts with raisins. One side is Spanish, and then this side is English. And this is a huge portion. It's like, this is 100 grams. This is coffee, and there's a lot of air in this. That will go in the 4 Emery mug. A second coffee, which I will save for later. This is Berries Jam. And what this actually is, it's like a thick syrup with bits of fruit in it. I'm going to put that on top of this bowl because I have an idea with this. And this is another strange thing. This is apricots on syrup. I don't know why they didn't double check their English translation of this, but the proper translation would be in, even though the Spanish word en means both in and on. It's just the context of how you use that you figure out what the English would be. But this is a pretty hefty portion there. Doesn't want to focus really, but anyway, so that's the apricots in syrup. And this is the main itself. The salmon paella. And it feels pretty dense. So this will not be a very saucy dish. And it actually feels a bit powdery, like there's some kind of residue on there. There's the accessory kit, which I will open up in a bit. Flameless ration heater, which I'm not going to use. This is a pineapple flavored drink. And I will put that in the drinking jar. Then the last item I pull out of the bag, which will serve as my trash bag, big cracker, or in Spanish, galleta gigante. This is the same size as those berry flavored cookies that I've had that have come out of Chilean rations, but I had those as a single item that I got from another source. And I got an idea with this. I will put the paella off to the side. Now I'm going to open up this accessory kit. And here we have a separately wrapped Daff spork. It's flexible, but it's fairly sturdy. It's not quite as sturdy as the Light My Fire sporks that I have. I found 2 of those in a thrift store. Paid a dime for each. So you could use this all day long if you were issued these rations instead of throwing them away. There's some napkins. Let's see if I can figure how many. There's 1, 2, 3 napkins. the salt, second salt. Oops, sorry about that. Sal means salt. And then azúcar, sugar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 sugars. So I will have 1 in the coffee. Will not need the other 5. I just took the spork out of its wrapper. I'm sticking the wrapper in the bag. So I'm holding up the Daff spork. So it is just a hair longer than the foreign emery spork. You can find these at foreignemery.com. That this would be a good camping utensil. There is Dub C in the house. Just checking to see if anyone else snuck in while I was opening stuff up. That's okay, Dub. You can always catch it on the replay later if you want. This does not say how much water to use. There is Pete in the house. And Jeff has joined in. No tear notch on this, so I am cutting it. Sorry about that. If my drinking jar is not big enough, well, oh well. This bottle holds 9 ounces of water, plus or take a mil or 3. There is a puppy breath in the house. Thanks for dropping in. This ration does not come with creamer for the coffee, and I didn't get any out yet, but now the coffee pouch packet does have a tear notch. Well, that was a bonehead mistake. I dropped the sugar packet in there. Anyway, that is what the coffee looks like. So what I'm going to do, I am going to go ahead and take the paella, put it into my pot on the stove, and then I will come back with the hot water for the coffee, and I'll get myself some creamer too while I'm at it. So I'll be right back. So for everybody who has had this Daff coffee has really gone nuts about it. There is Jay in the house, thanks for dropping in. I'm just going to take my kettle back into the kitchen just to get it out of the way. Yep, you can never go wrong with a good cup of coffee, and that smells good. I'm actually going to move this bag so I don't have to reach over everything to get at it. I'm getting the apricots out. I'm actually pulling them out with my spork. So I don't get overloaded with the syrup. As you can see, that nearly fills that compartment of this tray to the rim. Let's see, I think a few others might have dropped in. when I posted this in the MRE group that I'm in on Facebook, someone got really excited about that, about seeing this one. This one is going to have to be handled a little bit differently. Here is a tear notch, but as you can see, the nuts and raisins are right up there, but it's completely flat here. So whoever packs this apparently was not paying attention to how it was going in. Oop, I didn't do that very well. Didn't quite cut below the seal. And these are all clumped up in there. The raisins and the nuts are sticking together. But you do a little bit of this after you cut open the pouch, then they'll loosen up. I'm going to have to change my angle a little bit so you can actually see the There we go. Now you can see the nuts and the peanuts and the raisins. You can see how clumped up together they are. Now this berries jam, it's not a true jam as in the sense that you would spread it on the cracker. There's sunshine in the house. Thanks for dropping in. These big crackers. I'm going to see if I can get a hiss off of it. Oh, there's a bit of a hiss. This is how big it is. This is how thick it is. So it looks like a cookie. And I'm going to treat it as such. That's why I have this bowl. Yeah, it crumbles pretty easily. There is Marilyn Skull in the house. Thanks for dropping in. And Carlos is in the house. And looks like someone is enjoying a nice dessert. I just knocked my bottle down, but it's empty, so I'm going to see who else has dropped in. Oh, Creative Redundancy is in the house. Now I'm going to open up this berries jam and show you what it actually looks like. There's not a whole lot in there. You can't see in there, but you'll see what it looks like when I pour it out. A big pouch for not a whole lot of what I call a fruit syrup. I figure I let the cookie or the big cracker soak up that syrup. Basically turning this into a bit of a cobbler. I will set that back there. Well, that's good that the shipping is getting better. Of course, if you live in a building like mine where there is no way to contact the resident outside of calling or texting, they won't even leave a door tag anymore. They call it a closed business. Oh, you should, Chris. They will flip their lids. While you all talk about butter cakes, I am going to go ahead and get the paella because it should be done. I am back. I got the paella. I'm going to dry it off. Oops, sorry about that. Put that back there, get it out of the way. I just use that thing to carry my hot mains in here. I shake the pouch so I can get the food below the tear notch. Oh man, is this smelling good? I can smell the salmon. There's actual saffron in here. When I was looking at the ingredients, I noticed that there is actual saffron in here. And that is what gives the paella this distinctive yellow color. If you could not afford saffron, which is extremely expensive, you would substitute turmeric. If you wanted to stick with the natural color to get the yellow. There's a bit of bell pepper that I want to get out of there because I don't want to leave it behind. Just put my scissors away because I don't need them anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and break this up. Pretty good sized chunks of salmon in this. As I said earlier, there's also shrimp in this, but I think the salmon will be the predominant protein flavor in here. But there is a shrimp. I'm going to go ahead and give it a taste. Now that shrimp does taste pretty good. The salmon is nice and flaky. And it's good sized chunks too. This is just the rice by itself. The rice is quite soft. It's still good. It's got peas and red bell pepper. The peas are soft, but not too soft. They're not complete mush. They're a little bit firmer than the rice. But this is really, really delicious. This makes me want to go to a Spanish restaurant and have a legit paella. Because this is really, really good. Yeah, I'm sure this is lacking quite a few other ingredients that would normally be in a homemade or restaurant paella, but I would definitely eat this again. If I was a Chilean first responder and I was issued this ration, I would be very, very happy. I am definitely going to enjoy eating this because this is really, really good. If you're allergic to seafood, then obviously you want to avoid it. But if you enjoy seafood, especially shrimp and salmon, go for it. I'm going to take a drink with this coffee. There's a nice coffee. Even though I added 1 packet of the sugar and creamer, which I got out of my kitchen, I can definitely taste the flavor of that coffee. These sugar packets are 5-gram packets. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to taste raisin by itself. Decent raisins. But they are a little bit, they do stick to the nuts, as you can tell by this. But they're still easy to break apart. Now, the peanuts appear to be just plain peanuts, not roasted, not salted. Yep, they're just plain peanuts, not roasted or salted. But you put them together. You get that sweet and savory combination. If they did salt these raisins and roast them, then this would probably be even better. I'm going to check the chat. Yep, sometimes it can be good to have... there's Jeff in the house. And sometimes you may need to watch your salt intake, or if you want to use the raw peanuts in a recipe, oh, I like cashews too. That's my favorite nut. Thanks for dropping in, Marilyn. You got some packing to do. And maybe some more baking. But I will definitely finish off these peanuts and raisins. Of course, I'm going to go back for more of this. Now I'm going to take a taste of this pineapple drink. I probably could have used more than 9 ounces of water, maybe 12. But I'll still drink it like that. Yeah, it does look like a natural pineapple juice, maybe with a few other things added. It is supposed to be an isotonic drink or a fortified drink. I'm going to shift this over a little bit so you can see these apricots. They're very, very soft. In fact, it's falling apart. That syrup is very, very sweet. This apricot seems a little bit firmer, but that first one I got was very, very soft. But that syrup is very, very sweet. Maybe a little too sweet for apricots. But it will still get eaten. Of course, I just have to go back for more of this. At least they don't skimp on the shrimp. When they say that it tastes like homemade, I would definitely agree on this. Because it's got very good flavor. And from what I've seen of the other Daff rations that have been reviewed, they all look very, very good. Although I suppose it would be nice if they varied up their fruit, because I don't know if they put the apricots in all of them, or if this berries jam, if they put that in all of them. Isn't that looking like a cobbler? Of course, if those crackers were more cracker than cookie, I would probably have put some of this paella on that, but because it's not, and it actually smelled sweet a little bit instead of more savory, I'm not going to do that. Yep, that's why I wanted to do this. I just took a bite of a piece of it that didn't get a whole lot of the jam on it. And it did taste more, it wasn't just a straight savory cracker taste. It was a bit of a kind of like halfway in between a cracker and a cookie. Here's one that got more of the berry syrup. Here's an actual berry. It might be blueberry or blackberry. Blueberry. So maybe just a few bits of fruit, but more syrup than anything. But I figure turning this into a cobbler would be a good use of those big crackers. Oh man, that's good coffee. I could drink that all day long. Yep. So Jeff, if you get this Daff Black Line Menu 6 or any of the other ones that have the big cracker and that berries jam, you can do the same with it. And you could probably warm this up. See, if I put this in my microwave for about a minute and warm it up, that would probably make it even better. Of course, I'm not going to take the time to do that, because it'll be gone by the time I want to start cleaning up. In fact, all of this will most likely be gone before I finish off the stream, especially if you get chatting about other kinds of stuff. And thanks to Carlos, I have another ration that I have been wanting to get my paws on, but haven't been able to score. And that was the MCW seafood chowder. So he sent me one. So right now that is in the last of the lineup, since I basically I do them in the order that I get them. Plus I'm mixing in those that I can get several meals out of. So I hope DeCarlos is okay with me doing that last, because I got others ahead in the lineup. And speaking of foreign MRE, look who it is. There's Art and maybe Nina if she's sitting there beside him. Dropping that super chat, saying hello. Thanks for dropping in. And thanks for dropping that super chat. I do appreciate it. So go check out not only foreignemery.com, the website, but the YouTube channel, because they will occasionally drop a review in addition to their other videos of when they get new stuff in. And next week I will be doing another ration that I got from them, the chili stew. It's a Norwegian Arctic field ration, so that one will be next week. So that will be something cool to check out. Last year I did the chile con carne, another Norwegian Arctic field ration. Next week is a chili stew. And because that one is vegetarian, it'll be interesting to see what they call a chili stew, what it looks like. But I'm sure it'll be delicious because all of the other Norwegian rations that I've had have been really, really good. Dang, I can't get enough of this paella. Oh man, that is some good coffee. It's bold without being too bitter. If I could buy that coffee in a store, I would. Although the next coffee I'll be using will be one of the coffees that I got from Maryland. The Park Avenue coffee side of the business. They had a special of the holiday cheer coffee and the holiday blend. 1 pound bags, so I got one of each. And I will be getting into the holiday cheer one when I finish the Folgers that I'm currently drinking. And I'll just put that coffee in that Folgers container because that's just what I feel like doing. This saffron in here is not staining this tray much. There's not a whole lot of yellow sticking to it. A turmeric would leave a longer lasting stain that can be harder to get out. But and this tray has been in my possession since 1983. That is how long I've had it. And when I first got into rations after winning an MRE from Sticky Finger 745, this was the tray I had. And until I got my green one, this is the only one I've used. I'm just going to put this right here so it's in view, and I'll shift that over. I can definitely taste the isotonic or whatever nutrients is in that drink, but the pineapple flavor is definitely there. I'm going back for more of the peanuts and raisins. I'll tell you, they do not skimp on the size of the raisins. It may be flat, but they're not really small things, so they started out from big grapes. So I will give them props for that. Well, thanks a lot, DeCarlos, and I do appreciate it. I just sent some of that apricot into the raisins, but I don't care. There's still a little bit of crunch left in here, even though these big cracker pieces have been sitting in here for a few minutes. If I had this one again and I was just eating it on my own without doing it on video, I would probably warm this up after mixing the big cracker pieces and this berry syrup. I'll call it berry syrup instead of berries jam because it's not a true jam in the sense that we think of it. But it's still really good. Though I bet a bit of cinnamon or nutmeg or clove would really make this stuff pop. Then I wouldn't put too much because I wouldn't want to overpower the fruit flavor. But this is really cool to do something like this. So I would suggest doing this if you get this Daff ration or any other of the Daff rations that have this big cracker and this berries jam. I would definitely suggest doing this because this really, really works. And just for the heck of it, may work, it may not. I'm going to put a little bit of this apricot syrup in there. And since it is a bit sweet, too sweet for apricots in my opinion, that tones down the sweetness of the apricot syrup, but I wouldn't put any more in that because then you lose the berry flavor. But it still works. That's okay, CR. Thanks for dropping in. By the way, CR is up there in Canada, for those that have not seen him in chats before. There are several other ration reviewers who are up in Canada. There's Smitty, B. Temple, CT. They're the other Canadian ration reviewers. And I just watched a comparison video that B. Temple put up last week, but I just now noticed it because it was in my video suggestion feed of two versions of a U.S. survival ration general purpose from the 80s and from like 2013. The 80s one is in a metal can that he used the attached key to get open, and the 2013 one is in a box. So he did a comparison of those two versions of that emergency survival ration known as the general purpose. That would be kind of similar to that 1987 German emergency ration that I opened up and then passed on to the Ration Museum. You know, the compressed food bars, maybe some kind of a drink. You know, just there are different versions of those that different countries have. So if you check out B. Temple's channel, you can see that comparison video. And unfortunately, the 1980s one, all the stuff had gone south because that beef broth stuff had clumped up and it exploded when he opened it up, and plus it stunk. And he kept the type 1 coffee intact. He did not make it up, but the food bars had all gone south. But the 2013 one, the only part of it that was not good was the granola compressed bar. That one had started to go rancid, but all the other ones, you know, the iced tea drink, the chicken bouillon, and the mint tablets were basically like a lifesaver minus the hole. But all those held up well. But it was cool to see different versions, how a particular ration type changes over the years. So he has quite a few of these comparisons on his channel. Plus he has some Canadian ones that he's done this to. So it's really cool to see those. Oh, this one? Are you, Pat, are you talking about this? Might not show up at, well, foreignmre.com. That's where you can get this Daff ration if they have any in stock, or some of the other menus. They have some Norwegian Arctic field rations. They might have some of the Monster Russian vegetarian 24-hour rations. Oh, IMPs. If you search eBay, you might find some. MRE Mountain might have some. But as far as other sellers, I don't know where you might find IMPs other than MREmountain.com or eBay. Or if you go on to MREinfo.com, you might be able to find listings of sources. And then there are some people on there who do trades. But CT or Smitty have sometimes sent IMPs to people from up in Canada. And sometimes when CT drives his truck here down into the States, he might have some spare IMPs because he keeps rations in his truck. Because with the big nasty going on, he can't always get to a restaurant that would be open late at night when he's ready to park his truck. Or even if he needs to take a lunch break, but where he's at, there is nothing to be had, so he keeps rations in his truck. And then he will make videos of him eating those rations. And of course, he also does pizza stops because he loves checking out different pizzas. So if he's visiting some state where there is another YouTuber nearby, then they might hook up and they just sit together in his truck and have a chat on camera and eat some food. So it would be awesome if he ever comes down to Des Moines that I could meet up with him somewhere at go to Casey's Pizza, or I could introduce him to Northern Lights Pizza, or some of the other pizza places here that I like. That'll be awesome. And sometimes when he gets together with other YouTubers, they do trades. Wow, that was a good score. Yeah, if you can afford to get a larger number of them, or maybe even a whole case, if you're fortunate enough to get a whole case, then that would definitely set you up good for a while. You could have enough video fodder for several weeks if you do once a week. I do hope one day to get a hold of an entire case of current production of U.S. halal MREs. I'd like to get some more British and French halal rations. And there are even German halal rations that I've seen on eBay, but I have prioritized other things to spend my money on Maybe one day I'll bite the bullet and get one of those. They are in bags instead of boxes. But I definitely do want to check out a German halal ration. Wow, look who it is. History Savior in the house. Wow, thanks for dropping that super chat. Yep, doing good here. We had a little bit more of that white stuff overnight. But check out History Savior's channel. He has a giveaway going on. And what he's got on there is some pretty rad stuff. I don't know if there is some system, Bert, that doesn't allow you to do a whole amount. And you can do it, for an MRE, they dropped a $10 super chat. So that's easy enough to do, but I don't know, maybe there's something in the algorithm that's not quite right. Yes, do Yep, sorry, History Savior. I ate all of the salmon paella. But that was really, really good. And I believe it when this thing says tastes like homemade. Yeah. That paella is legit. Even though I have never had paella in any form before, from what I've seen on screen, when I've seen paella on TV, when I had a TV and I was watching food videos, I'd seen paella being made, with the different seafoods. They'd put mussels in it, or clams, or oysters, or several different types of seafood they put in there besides salmon or shrimp. I suppose you could put lobster in paella. But from what I've seen, this looks very close to it. It's just lacking some of the more complex flavors that a legit paella that you would get in a restaurant or someone's kitchen would be like. But oh man, it was good. And this one actually has saffron in it. Don't know if you can. Yep, saffron. In between. Oop, lost it. Right before the salt, saffron. Oh, a History Savior has been in a literal foxhole. Yeah, a military foxhole. So if he has video footage of him in this foxhole, he does reenacting. So he, plus collecting historical military items. If he has footage of him in this foxhole, reproducing the actions that a soldier during World War II would have done, then you can see him actually wearing the uniform that a soldier at that time would have worn. This was apricots, but I ate all the apricots. There's still some of the syrup. And what I did here, the big crackers that were about the diameter of my foreign MRE mug, but about that thick, I broke them up, and then this berries jam, which is more like a berry syrup with a few token berries in there, I poured it over the pieces and then just let it sit. And then a few minutes ago, I added a tiny bit of the apricot syrup just for the heck of it. Basically, I made a cobbler. And this was my plan from the beginning to do this. And if I wanted to, I could have heated this up. Oop, keep bumping my camera mount, dang it. These cracker bits are starting to break down, but turning this into a cobbler, that's what I originally wanted to do with this when I saw that the berries jam and the big crackers are in here. So this is that thing that I was teasing about in the past where I said I got an idea for the berries jam and the big crackers, and this is my idea. Oh, wow. Oh, that will be even better. Better that you're able to do that. Oh, James Ortiz. I didn't even see him sneak in. He must be watching and just not... Uh-oh, this... I don't know why. It won't let me... Yeah, I can see that, I don't know why that got deleted. That shouldn't have been deleted. But, that's okay. I'm going to see if I can... This is unhide. There we go. I don't know why it says unhide. There we go. That should have fixed it. Mods can have an oops once in a while. But yeah, those comments should not have been hidden. Nope, it would have shown retracted by. Whereas if it says, to me, if it says removed, then that means either I or a mod would have removed it. But that's different than a person retracting their own comment. So just chalk it up as an oops. No, Jeff, you can't do it because you have to be modified first. So when you see a person's name in blue with a blue wrench beside it, that's a mod. Yeah, it could have been a YouTube system burp because I heard about something else like that happening on another live stream where someone's comment got removed even though a mod didn't do it and the stream host didn't do it. And it was not a comment that would have offended anyone or violated the YouTube rules. There are system burps that can happen. So just chalk it up to a system burp. I'm just eating more of my peanuts and raisins. But when I was in another live stream chat a couple years ago, there was a person who was just made a mod. And I said, you can put me in timeout as a practice. And then when the timeout ends, I'll report back what I was able to do and not able to do. So I did that. So that mod put me in timeout, and that's 300 seconds. And then when the 300 seconds ended and I could type a comment, so then I just report that I could watch the stream, I just could not chat. So I thought that was something just to help a new mod get practice at doing things like that. And sorry, James, I ate all the paella. I can't upload any. I just want more of it. Yep. What History Savior is doing for this documentary will be cool to the max. And if you are a history buff, especially military history, then I would definitely suggest watching it when it does get released. Now, my younger nephew has been fascinated with military history since he was a teen. So when this comes out on TV, he will probably watch it. I don't know, maybe apricots are more common there. But this syrup, in my opinion, is too sweet for apricots because, after all, it is a tart fruit. And the sweetness of the syrup kind of takes away from that real apricot flavor. But that last apricot I ate was actually a whole one. It just got smashed, after the pit got taken out. But that was the firmest one, and they were quite soft. And you tend to get that with canned apricots. Sometimes it can be a little firmer. Sometimes it can be almost mush. But I do eat canned apricots, and I have some in my food supply here. But the syrup is not quite as sweet as this one. That's okay, Jeff. Thanks for dropping in. And the same with that berries jam. It does have the berry flavor, but I think they could have put a few more actual berries in there. And this one, the berries are just all blueberries. If it's the juice concentrates from the other berries like strawberry, blackberry that are in there, it'd be nice to have actual bits of those other fruits in there. But I'm still enjoying it, especially turning it into a cobbler. Yep, it's it's 8:30 here, so 10:30, so that must mean that he is in a maritime time zone up in Canada. I think. I could be wrong. Sorry about that. I keep bumping this dang mount. It's not as stable as I would like, but it bends, and that's what I like about it. For the most part, I can get it to aim my phone how I want. It's just a big old clamp with a flexible arm. Made to mount onto a desk so it could be hands-free. If I were doing Zoom on it, then that would work perfect. The big cracker, what I broke up into this bowl before I put that berries jam on it. So it's a thick, about that thick, about as big around as my coffee mug. And the flavor is kind of like midway between a cookie and a cracker because it had a bit of a sweet taste as well as a savory taste. So I thought that I would break it up and then put the berries jam on it and then just let it sit and absorb that syrup to kind of make a ration cobbler. Just like when I have the berry cobbler from a USMRE. If I had a cookie, I would break it up and mix it in with that berry cobbler to give it that texture that a cobbler would otherwise have. And I have done that with that cherry cobbler or blueberry cobbler or whatever it is. Yeah, if you do get this Daff ration, try that with the big cracker and the berries jam, or taking say like an oatmeal cookie and blueberry cobbler, whatever that cobbler is from a USMRE. Break up the cookie or cookies, put the cobbler on it, and then heat that up so you could have it warm. I bet that would be a real treat. I wouldn't be surprised if a soldier out in the field would have done that if they had time and a means to heat it up, say in their canteen cup. Or using a mess kit. Sorry about that. Well, I suppose that will do that for this one. I done finished it all. Except for what's left of the syrup, but, knowing me, after I cut off this live stream, I'll probably just slurp that up because that's just how I am. And by the way, when I opened up the accessory pack, this was in there. You get a Daff ration, you get a Daff spork. And I am got to hold on to this little goodie. I may put that in my bug out bag. I don't know. I have some other sporks that I keep with my camping utensils. So I said, or I could put this in there with those. Because I keep 3 other sporks in there. I don't know. But I will definitely hold on to this little goodie. It's just a hair longer than the foreign MRE spork. But this is definitely worth getting. So I definitely recommend this ration. If you like seafood, I definitely go for it. So next week, it'll be the Norwegian Arctic Field Ration chili stew, which is a vegetarian one. I've been switching off between vegetarian rations and ones that have meat in it. So that one will be the vegetarian option for next Sunday. And then after that, I haven't decided which one I'm going to go to next. But I think for now I'm going to go ahead and call this one good. So I do thank you all for watching. It's been fun. And for those that came in late, you can check out the beginning of it after YouTube finishes its processing, which seems on my streams to take several hours instead of immediately being available to view. So probably about overnight, this thing will be ready to view from the beginning. So you can see everything that was in there and what it looked like before I started chowing down. But you can check it out from the beginning. But you can check out History Savior's channel, enter his giveaway. Had to throw in one more shout out, but and again, thanks to History Savior and Foreign Emery for dropping those super chats. Greatly appreciated. That money goes right back into the channel, either to buy rations or to buy a gear item to test, or to get something that will help me make better videos. So that, and I have a join membership button on my channel, so I just leave that there for anyone who feels like it. Same with my Patreon. I don't actively plug those, but they're there in the About section of my channel page. But do come back next week doing Norwegian. Again, thanks for watching, and catch you on the flip side.